Hi, I'm Kathy Mills from Short Film Edits, and I'm here with Daniel Borsellino for an interview today. How are you?
Good yourself.
I'm good, thank you. Can we start this with you telling us a little bit about you?
Well, my name is Daniel Borsellino. I'm from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. I always had a love for acting. I didn't pursue it till a little later in my 20s, as opposed to when I wanted to.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. So what drew you to acting?
So when I was a kid, my neighborhood wasn't very nice. It was a rough
Mm.
neighborhood, and my parents never let me allowed in the outside the house. And because of that, I watched a lot of movies. And my father, he was really into the old Vincent Price, Abbott and Costello, the old Universal Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff. So I got put onto a lot of those from my dad. And when I got older, I started seeing more of like Pacino and De Niro, and I was like, wow, these are my people.
Mm.
And I was just so captivated, especially in The Godfather, when at the end, when they're all kissing his ring and they're like Godfather, Godfather. As a young Italian, seeing that, like you see like the power that's being portrayed in that film, and it's like something about capturing an audience on a camera. I don't know. It always drove me, and it's something I always had a knowing that I want to be a part of.
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely understand. That's very powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of your work sits in the indie and short film space. What
Yeah.
draws you to those projects?
Money, no. um, Honestly, when you're starting out and that's when you're making connections, that's kind of what you fall into. But it's also that I love seeing a group of people come together to bring a goal and achieve it, and knowing you could possibly be a contribution to that is
Mm.
a really good thing. Keeps you
Yeah,
grounded.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And I find that the short films and the indie space is like a community.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's really
because like
good.
you're building small with
Mm.
each other, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's like passion projects as well. So
Yeah, yeah, those two.
yeah, yeah. All right. So your first vertical was I flash married my best friend. How was that
Yeah.
experience for you?
It was cool. It was my very first project that I booked with an agent that I
Hmm.
didn't self-submit. And yeah, it was kind of different. I didn't really know what verticals were like at the time. And then I honestly thought I was just like before my agents called me and when no, sorry, when they called me and they told me that I booked, before they told me what it was about, I kind of thought it was just like I'm going in to do like a show or something or a movie. When I heard Vertical, I didn't think anything of it because I didn't know it was his own thing.
Mm. Mm. What's the biggest difference for you between a vertical and a short film?
Probably the scripts.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah. They're more challenging or just faster paced?
yeah, faster paced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Um, what does authenticity mean to you in a performance?
Hmm. Authenticity in a performance. It's when you find something to work with at the core of your stomach, and you gather all these pieces of information, and it kind of lies there
Mm.
because there is such thing as overdoing it, and then you kind of lose that. But when you keep it grounded, and then you you're listening to your scene partner as opposed to just waiting to say your line, when everything's grounded right and you're in it like that, I think a real truthful performance comes to life.
Mm. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Okay. What has been the biggest challenge navigating the industry so far?
Uh, Seeing who's really with you and who's against you type deal, honestly.
Mm.
Learning the business as well and the contracts and etc. Right? I wasn't the most literate growing up,
Mm,
so learning how and formal either. So kind of learning to adjust to that actually.
yeah, you have to step into like this different type of like professionalism
Yeah,
and
yeah,
understanding. Yeah. No, I get
yeah.
that. Of
While still
course.
not losing who you are.
Yes. Yeah. And it's more of like having to understand something and learn something new to be able to
Mm,
go further into that. So,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. All right. What's something you've learned about acting that you didn't expect when you first started?
the techniques.
Mm,
Like what I first thought was you kind of just you go in there and you act and you find what you need to find and you act and it's like I didn't know that there was all these techniques
mm,
that actors use to find what they find.
yeah. Have you done
Yeah.
any acting school
Oh,
classes?
I've done quite a few so far.
Yep. Yep. Do you find
I
them
love the techniques.
beneficial?
They're fun. They're.
Yep. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Do you find them extremely beneficial to go to acting class?
100%. Yeah. I find it more beneficial than going to full out film school. Yeah.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's also good to take what you learn from class and add a pinch of salt from it when you're on a set because it is different. But like in terms
Mm.
of networking and learning the techniques that you can apply to your craft, it serves its purpose for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You learn something new in everything that you go to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the best lesson you've picked up from another actor?
Oh wow. Um. Hmm. The best lesson I've learned from another actor. Oh, you know what? It wasn't one in person. It was
Hmm.
Cranston. I was watching an interview, and he was saying when you're starting out, make sure you have money saved so you can continue to be an actor.
Mm.
And yeah, I always used to spend like an idiot, right? Because I wasn't used to always having like a lot of money. I'm still not used to like having a crazy amount. Not that I have a crazy amount, but like even when you start getting a little bit of money and you didn't grow up used to that, you kind of spend like a fool.
Mm.
So yeah, he's right because when you get into this, you're I don't want to like you're not necessarily on your own. You could be, but you have to get to sets by yourself. You have to
Mm.
do and like yeah, that I mean, you can write all that off though, right? But still, like it's good to have money put aside. So if anything, because this industry is very last minute. If anything
Mm.
last minute appears, you don't have to worry financially. You can get where you need to go and etc. Buy what
Yeah.
you need to buy.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard from other actors that they've had to pay for their own way to set before.
Yeah,
But
it's common,
in
very
order to
common.
do that, yeah, in order to do that, that's what helped them get into the industry. But they wouldn't have
Yeah.
had that chance if they didn't get there in the first place. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's not easy to save in this climate,
Mhm.
this, world that we live in right now. So,
Yeah.
okay. What does a good performance look like to you?
When you don't even know that they're acting,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Goodfellas, that's what kind of made me want to achieve that level of acting. Because it's like every other scene, you think you're really in a room full of mob guys shooting the breeze.
Mm. Yeah. Do you have a specific scene that you felt was such a great performance
In good, like in that specific movie or just in
or
general,
in anything that you've done?
in anything. I mean, Green Mile at the end, like near the
Mm.
end, when they're telling him that I can just let you go pretty much, and then he was pretty much saying that he wants to leave the world
Mm-hmm.
because how tired he was of all like the cruelty and etc. And the way that He was yeah, like masterful performance.
Yeah, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh man, rest in peace.
That and Shawshank Redemption.
You know what? Oh, I never ended up finishing that.
Oh,
It's one of those classics that I've yet to like, finish.
yes.
I'm
So
bad for that.
Shawshank
Yeah.
is actually my favorite.
Okay.
So I highly suggest finishing that.
Okay,
It's
I will.
and watch it from the start if you don't remember. You just gotta, yeah, definitely,
I will.
definitely finish that
Just
one.
for you.
Yeah, please do. Okay. What's the hardest scene you've had to pull off so far?
Oh, the hardest thing I had to pull off so far. uh, Getting to a coaching session in a snowstorm.
Oh, yes. Yep, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, it was fun. I left like a few hours early so I can get there early. I still ended up late.
How'd you manage to get there?
Well, I uh, when I got lost, I just went to Tim Hortons, it's a coffee shop, and I asked them to call me a cab because it was in a city I wasn't familiar with.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, at least you got there. What about on
Yeah,
set? What's the hardest thing you've had to pull off on set?
having to keep my mouth shut when I wasn't under a real professional crew.
Ah, that
Yeah,
can be hard.
yeah,
Yeah, that can be hard.
yeah.
All right. Um, how do you make a character feel real?
Uh, it goes down to the questions: Who am I? Who do I need? Uh, who am I talking to? The conflict, figuring all that out. Sometimes I like to discover what would this guy's favorite kind of music be? What would
Mm,
this guy's favorite movie be? Or, you know, the wardrobe.
yeah. Wardrobe's important.
Very, because it's the
Yes.
guy's. It's a part of his identity.
Yeah.
How we dress is a part of our identity to some degree.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a certain genre that you love the most
Genre of music,
of film?
film, oh, crime.
Oh, yeah. True crime? Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. Nice. Okay. What's been your biggest learning moment?
my biggest learning moment when it kind of goes back to one of the older questions that knowing who's really with you and who's secretly against you.
Mm. Yeah, I think that applies everywhere, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. When do you feel most confident on set?
you know, I always feel confident on set, really. Like, I don't feel like I fit in everywhere,
Hmm.
but every set, every casting room, etc., is like I have that knowing that I belong in this business no matter what. And I think
Mm.
that alone, because it's like if you sense that you have a belonging somewhere, it doesn't matter what other people may be thinking about you. Like
Mm.
it's not even a thought in your mind, or like even if it is, it doesn't really matter because you know you're there for a bigger reason than to be like buddy buddies with everyone.
Yeah. No, you're right. Again, that applies everywhere. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. How do you stay creative between projects?
I don't know. You got any tips?
Do you
Honestly,
play any like other
probably those
instruments
skipped.
or things like that?
Uh, you know what? It's so quick to get burnout. So
Mm.
it's a lot of stuff outside of acting, like you suggested, instruments and etc. I go to the park. I play basketball. I
Mm.
do anything in my will to clear my head. So when work starts to get crammed again, I'm prepared for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever wanted to become more than like an actor? Do you want to become like a director, a producer, things like that?
I'm currently writing something right now
Yep, that's
because
cool.
I realized too, it's like you can't rely on auditions. You got to do your own
Mm.
stuff,
Yep, yep.
right?
And how are you finding that writing process?
Fun,
Yep,
pretty
that's
fun,
good.
yeah. I'm going to my coach about it to give me tips on like what to do next and the whole business side of it
Yep, yep.
and like
It's important to
how much
learn.
words should I take away and leave,
Mm. Do they
stuff
normally
like that.
have like a specific amount of words that should be in a script? Do they have like that, or does it not matter?
I don't know. I'm gonna find out the hard way.
Yep. Learn by experience, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Um, what kind of stories matter to you?
I like the stories of the industrial kind of tough guy who takes care of his family type deal. I like
Hmm.
those stories a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're important as well, I think.
Oh, huge.
Yeah. Yeah,
Huge in society for sure.
definitely. Yeah. All right. What would your dream project look like?
Uh, Working with kind of like the cast you saw in The Irishman,
Hmm.
working with Pacino, De Niro, Harvey Keitel, Joe Pesci, like all those legends.
Yep. So just being a
Denzel.
part of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Do you have like a certain storyline that you'd like to do with them?
No, I'm grateful for any opportunity to work with those guys.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. How do you approach understanding your character's backstory when it's not fully written into the script?
Sometimes I just not come up with stuff in the sense where it's obvious, but like I'll add
Mm,
a layer. I'll add a
mm,
layer that's like a pinch maybe noticeable, and that'll give it more oomph to them without really giving the impression. Because like sometimes I'm kind of scared to give the impression that is this guy trying to take over or something like that.
mm.
But at the end of the day, I'm an actor. It's my job to uh, play and bring what you want to life. But like you trust me and my creativity to also do that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
no,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, of course. All right. How do you stay authentic and present on set with all the distractions like camera crew and time pressure?
I kind of just try to zone it out.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I try to pretend that like it may sound a little cliche, but like that the cameras aren't there.
Mm. But yet subconsciously still knowing that they're there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because you need to know where they are. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Is there a character you've played that you still think about? And if so, what made that role stick with you?
No,
Hmm?
no, there isn't. I'll be honest with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing's been that impactful yet.
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'll
Well,
get
you'll get
back to you
there.
though.
Yes, yes, absolutely. All right. What's some changes that you face on set that others outside the field might not recognize?
Changes
Challenges, sorry.
or challenges?
Challenges.
No worries, no worries. Um, that depending who you're working for, you gotta be on the go, go and go.
Mm.
And because I remember this one job, the slightest mishaps in rehearsal that just needed a little bit of tweaking, right? And then I ended up getting it, but the director got nervous and she fired me last minute
Oh,
after all this prep work, all this, you know, and yeah, she said I personally think it was for another reason, but I don't know. I'm not going to go into a whole conspiracy about this, but yeah, like she was saying that pretty much that what we worked on one that it just wasn't there at all. But I found them to be a little bit adjustable, and because of that, I got fired last minute. And
Mm,
that led me to realize that, you got to do anything in your will. Kind of going back to the other question when I was talking about playing basketball and et cetera, how to still stay creative. You really got to stand on top of your burnout and find ways to cut it off.
yeah.
Otherwise, it could get the best of you because this industry, a lot's going to get thrown at you at once. And you got to be prepared for it. You got to know when that burnout's starting to come so you can tackle it right away.
Yeah, you can't let it consume you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. How do you make similar roles feel unique?
Similar rules feel unique. Hmm. I honestly, hmm. I don't think I've booked a crazy amount yet
Mm,
to
yeah.
have that difference because I get booked. Not that I'm typecast, but I do get booked kind of similar from what I normally get.
Mm. So you haven't had some that are like extremely similar yet?
I mean, I guess for every role, I do try to find a layer of nuance I can add, like maybe a face expression or I don't know, something small that the camera picks up that kind
Mm.
of gives off a trait of his personality. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep. Fair enough. Okay. How do you navigate playing a character when you don't agree with their motives?
you got to learn to love your character regardless.
Mm-hmm.
No
Yep.
matter how terrible they are, otherwise it's not going to work. You got to love your character.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
can
you
want
gotta
them to
find a
die at
way.
the end, but like you can't be too open about that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, true. All right.
No, you got to love your character.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so what does a good day on set look like for you?
A good day on set, everyone's just chill. There's no friction you feel. No people running around just giving you attitude off the bat. Asking a simple question, people start freaking on you. Because that happens. So when you're in a chill set where none of those things happen, that's a
Mm,
beautiful day on set. When you're in holding and you're immediately like clicking with actors and you're shooting the breeze, and they're not so in their own world and just not wanting to bother with anyone until it comes time to work, and then the chemistry's not there, you know. And because as actors, it's a collaborative art. We have to help each other out,
hmm.
not
Yeah.
full out rely, but what's the harm in
Uh,
a good scene partner?
Yeah, have each other's back.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. How do you handle moments when you're on a scene that doesn't go the way that you envisioned?
You know, I've come to a place now where I limited my expectations
Hmm.
because I've had times where I, you know, you only get a few chances until they start switching angles, right? Till they start
Mm,
switching lenses and et cetera. And, you know, so I've kind of learned to just do the best of my abilities to bring it right away. And if anything I thought I missed, like, it is what it is.
yeah. No, I get that. Okay. Um, is there certain roles that you feel less confident doing?
Mm, uh, some stuff, I guess, but mm, like, I'm not a rom-com guy.
Hmm. Yeah.
I,
Don't feel
I don't,
comfortable in that. No.
it's just, I don't know, it's just cheesy to me, that stuff. I like the, um, dramas, shoot 'em up, not even just full out action packed, like stuff with still a lot of depth in it and whatnot. But no, I just don't like rom coms very much.
Yeah.
To me, they're boring.
Yeah, that's fair. Not everybody likes that genre. So, I mean, my favorite genre is sci-fi. So,
Oh, there you go.
like
I
sci-fi.
respect that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, what do you think makes a performance unforgettable?
Ooh, the the realism, the what Like the nuance is definitely the nuance
Mm,
because it's that little detail that is that character's personality.
yeah,
And
yeah.
not that you're supposed to just try to say something a certain way, because I think that's how bad acting happens.
Mm,
But when you found all your elements, and then now it's just you're grounded in it, and it's in the moment, and you know things like face expressions, words, etc., can all come out a certain way, and it's like they're actually talking, they're actually having that conversation. They're and instead of just trying to not intimidate, imitate a feeling.
yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. Okay, I've got two more questions.
No
What's your
worries.
funniest moment on set?
Funniest moment on set. Oh, we had quite a few of those, man. I was on this one set, and I don't go out that much no more. So I was with a bunch of guys that I was just resonating with,
Mhm.
and we were all just shooting the breeze and like having fun guy talk, like how I used to have a lot back in the day. Then me and my old friends we all grew apart. So I don't have a
Mm.
specific story. But I have more of a wholesome one. I'm sorry if that doesn't sound interesting or anything.
No, that's
But
fine. I'm happy to hear that too. Wholesome is good. Wholesome is good. And sometimes they're more important than the funny moments. So,
it's what I remember because I'm sure I had a lot of funny moments on set.
mm,
I think one's kind of coming to me right now. We're playing keep up with a balloon, and I like really and I fell over or like almost fell over a chair and stumbled, and I look up to the director and she's just grilling me like, "Get back to your chair now." I don't know. It was funnier when I was
yeah,
there.
had to be their moment, huh?
Yeah,
All right. Okay, so what do you want audiences to feel after watching you on screen?
I want them to be taken by, like taken, like wow, like this guy, he's I don't want to say next Pacino or anything like that. That's crazy,
Mm,
but I do want people to be blown away by every performance I do when I land something big. Because right now I haven't really landed anything where that would give anybody that, or I want someone to see me and be like, wow, like he takes his approaches differently,
mm, yeah.
as opposed to just saying something the same old way, and he does it in a way where he's not trying to because he put in all the work to get himself in the state where he needs to be in.
Mm. So you want to be unique to other people.
You articulated it perfectly for me. I over explain a lot. I have a habit of that.
That's fine. That's fine. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to have this interview with me. I know it's very early for you, so
No
thank you.
worries. Thank you. Thank you for
No
giving me a
problem.
platform.
No worries. Well, you go and have a coffee, and I'll talk to you
Will
again
do.
soon.
Take care, eh?
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Bye, Kathy.